Everywhere I've gone, everything I've listened to, everything I've read is telling me that Geelong are losing because they're going too slow. It's, to quote Ross Lyon, it's fingernail-deep analysis. And, Ruzi, let's begin with some myth busting. And you've got the first myth.
Oh, yeah.
Geelong need to play faster, Gaz.
No, you gave it to me. Yeah, well, that's been the narrative around them. And they've been doing this the whole year. They've been slow to play on. It's been part of their DNA. I want you to have a look at these numbers from the weekend. And this is why, you know, you've done such a deep dive and we've all come in here. First quarter, they played on from a mark just 4% of the time. They went in 15 points up. By the last quarter, they played on 25% of the time and they went 26 points down for the quarter. So it worked for them in the first quarter. It worked for them when they were 11-1 sitting on top of the ladder. It was the way they played. They controlled the ball beautifully. They did it again, kicked the score when they did and didn't when they went too
So
quick.
their average play on from marks has been 8% this week. They've generally gone at 16%. But it is amazing, Ruzi, as soon as you lose in this current day, the issue is you've got to play faster. Slow. Myth busting number 2 is slow football is losing football.
Yeah, absolute not true. If we look at it here, I mean, I watched Brisbane live yesterday, but round 17, they played on 6% of the time and they beat Port by 48 points. West Coast round 15, 8% of the time, and they won that game against the Hawks. So they just happened to lose. I think part of our job is to analyse the game effectively and properly, and it's got nothing to do with their ball movement. At times you want to go quicker, but that's not the reason they're losing games of footy.
You've got to get caught. Can't get caught up in. A couple of weeks ago, they went too slow against Hawthorn, but Chris got to acknowledge that on 360 when he said, certain oppositions, you need to go a bit quicker. Hawthorn, with their elite defensive setup, they were going too slow. But in the norm, I think going slower and more conservative has actually worked for Geelong, Jared.
Well, the third myth, Brown, is Geelong can't win the flag.
Well, no, that is a myth, no doubt about it. Now, it gets back to their contest work. So this has been the same for 100 years, Jared. When your contest work struggles, the side's going to struggle. Now, the forwards have struggled, all that sort of stuff. You're losing sight of what's actually going on. Look at the contest work. Look at the engine room. Now, these guys, when they win, 18.3%. Sorry, 18.3 plus contested possession difference. Look at the drop-off when they lose. That's nearly a 30 contested possession swing. So, and there's the big guns, Duncan, Selwood, Dangerfield and Kelly. Now, why can they win it, Jared? Because pre-bye, they were number 1 in contested possession, number 1 in post-clearance contested possession, and number 1 in loose balls. So that is a very important stat.
Can they get back to it?
Yeah, absolutely they can. To me, your question, when you talk about the loose ball, and loose ball makes up, when the ball leaves the contest, that's where they're getting smashed at the moment. You look at those guys, they don't lack leg speed, do they?
No.
You know, so I just feel like they've just lacked some sharpness the last few weeks. Now, whether that's from a training load perspective, it's been a hard run, Ruzi. They just, to me, look like they lack a bit of sharpness around the contest and when it leaves.
Yeah, look, I think there'll be a fair bit of uncomfortable vision being shown because, you're right, I think they're more than capable of doing it. But the piece of vision that I want to show you now, boys, is probably the biggest concern, and that's the inability. We know to win a premiership, particularly on the bigger grounds. I think you've talked, Gaz, a bit about their home field advantage, which is quite narrow, so it's easier to defend down there. But you can see here where the ball... Look, Zach Tui's just already leaving the contest. He just goes. And then it's clearly going to go to a Dockers player. The lack of transition is the thing that concerns me at the moment through the middle of the ground. And we'll let this play. Swakowski's Tui's man. And as we finish this piece of vision, this is the concerning piece of vision for me. There's three extra Fremantle players inside the forward 50. Yeah. They're more than capable of doing it based on what you're saying, Brownie. And that's the biggest thing Scotty be working on.
Are they two-way running enough, the midfield? We saw Tui, but what about the midfield?
Yeah, well, those three midfielders just got left behind. I mean, we saw them start the centre bounce. And again, at bigger grounds, you have to cover more distance. It's just a simple mathematical equation. So that's the concern for them. The contest, winning the contest, but if we lose it, we've got to get to that next contest quicker than the opposition does.
Midfield's been inconsistent since the bye. It's as simple as that. They're big guns. The big dogs in there, aren't they? So they need to get to work and get back to playing consistent footy, Jerry. And I think you back those names in, wouldn't you? You know, Dangerfield, Duncan, who's played a little bit forward.
They're capable.
Selwood's been a little bit down. They're clearly capable.
They're in control of whether or not they make history. They've been to the big finals before. They haven't quite got to the big dance. And the challenge is there. I don't think anybody saw them on top of the ladder at the start of the season.
No.
So they've worked incredibly hard. Now it's time to cash